Ever feel like you're running on empty, chasing a version of yourself that always seems just out of reach? Like you're constantly striving, pushing, and performing, but the joy, the genuine connection to your own soul, is somehow missing? It's a heavy weight to carry, this feeling of disconnect, this relentless pressure to be enough for everyone else. And it often whispers a cruel lie, that you, in your truest form, are somehow inadequate. We've all been there, haven't we? Caught in the whirlwind of expectations, societal pressures, and the endless highlight reels of social media. It's easy to lose sight of what truly matters, the quiet, unwavering love and acceptance we deserve to offer ourselves. This isn't about bubble baths and fleeting moments of self-care, though those are lovely too. This is about cultivating a deep, unshakable foundation of self-worth that anchors you through life's inevitable storms. Think of it like this. Imagine your inner self as a garden. If you constantly neglect it, criticize its imperfections, and only water it with the validation of others, what do you think will grow? Weeds of self-doubt, tangled vines of insecurity, and a barren landscape where joy struggles to take root. But what if instead, you began tending to that garden with compassion, acceptance, and unwavering belief in its potential? What if you nurtured the soil with kindness, pulled out the weeds of negative self-talk, and planted seeds of self-love? The truth is, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. And when that relationship is built on a foundation of self-love, everything else in your life begins to shift. Your confidence blossoms, your relationships deepen, and you discover a wellspring of inner strength you never knew you possessed. But how do you cultivate this kind of self-love? How do you silence the inner critic and embrace your authentic self, flaws and all? It's a journey, not a destination. A continuous process of learning, growing, and choosing to see yourself through the lens of compassion. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to challenge the limiting beliefs that have held you back for far too long. But trust me, the rewards are immeasurable. A life lived from a place of self-love is a life filled with joy, purpose, and unwavering resilience. It's a life where you finally feel free to be yourself, unapologetically and authentically. This isn't just about feeling good, though that's certainly a welcome side effect. This is about reclaiming your power, stepping into your authentic self, and living a life that is aligned with your deepest values. It's about recognizing your inherent worth, not because of what you do or what you achieve, but simply because of who you are. And that, my friend, is a truly revolutionary act. So, are you ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery and unlock the transformative power of self-love? Now, let's delve into the psychology behind this inner disconnect. It's not simply a matter of low self-esteem, though that can certainly play a role. More often, it's rooted in deeply ingrained schemas. These are essentially mental blueprints we develop early in life, based on our experiences with caregivers and the world around us. If those early experiences were marked by conditional love, criticism, or a lack of emotional attunement, we might internalize the belief that we are only worthy of love and acceptance when we meet certain conditions. This sets the stage for a lifetime of striving to please others, often at the expense of our own needs and desires. Consider, for example, the woman who grew up in a household where achievement was highly valued, and emotional expression was discouraged. She might develop a schema that equates her worth with her accomplishments. Consequently, she may become a relentless overachiever, constantly pushing herself to excel in her career, her relationships, and every other aspect of her life. But beneath the surface, she's plagued by a deep-seated fear of failure, and a constant sense that she's never quite good enough. Her inner critic is always on high alert, pointing out her perceived flaws and shortcomings, and reminding her that her value is contingent upon her performance. Building on this, however, it's important to recognize the role of societal conditioning. From a young age, women are often bombarded with messages that reinforce unrealistic beauty standards, and that equate their worth with their appearance, their relationships, and their ability to conform to traditional gender roles. These messages can be incredibly damaging, leading to feelings of inadequacy, body image issues, and a constant pressure to measure up to impossible ideals. It's as if we're all competing in a race with no finish line, constantly striving to achieve an elusive standard of perfection that is ultimately unattainable. Another crucial layer is understanding the impact of trauma. Whether it's childhood abuse, neglect, or a more recent traumatic experience, trauma can profoundly affect our sense of self-worth and our ability to connect with our own emotions. Trauma can create deep wounds that make it difficult to trust ourselves and others, and that can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and self-blame. It's as if the trauma has shattered our inner compass, leaving us feeling lost, disoriented, and disconnected from our true selves. Conversely, it's not all doom and gloom. Understanding these psychological underpinnings is the first step towards healing and reclaiming our inner power. By recognizing the schemas, the societal conditioning, and the potential impact of trauma, we can begin to challenge the negative beliefs that have been holding us back. We can start to rewrite our internal narratives and to cultivate a more compassionate and accepting relationship with ourselves. This is not about denying the past, but about reclaiming our agency and choosing to create a future that is aligned with our authentic selves. It's about recognizing that we are not defined by our past experiences, but by our capacity to heal, to grow, and to evolve. Reflecting on this journey so far, a pattern emerges, not of simple cause and effect, but of interconnectedness. It's akin to viewing a tapestry from up close. Individual threads, each with its own color and texture, seem disparate and perhaps even insignificant. Yet, as we step back, a cohesive image begins to form, revealing the intricate relationships between these threads and their contribution to the overall design. Similarly, the various facets of self-love we've considered, from the influence of early experiences to the impact of societal pressures, are not isolated factors, but rather interwoven elements that shape our inner landscape. The cumulative effect of these influences can be likened to the gradual erosion of a stone sculpture. Over time, the relentless forces of wind and rain, representing the constant barrage of external expectations and internal criticisms, wear away at the original form, leaving behind a diminished and distorted version of its former self. However, just as a skilled artisan can restore a damaged sculpture, we too possess the capacity to reclaim our authentic selves, to repair the erosion caused by these negative influences, and to reveal the inherent beauty that lies within. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer, not as a rigid set of instructions, but as a gentle invitation to explore the depths of our own being. It's about cultivating a mindful awareness of the stories we tell ourselves, the beliefs we hold, and the patterns we repeat. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose which narratives we embrace, which beliefs we nurture, and which patterns we perpetuate. This is not a passive process, but an active engagement with our own inner world, a willingness to challenge the status quo, and a commitment to creating a life that is aligned with our deepest values. Drawing these strands together, we see that self-love is not merely a feeling or an emotion, but a practice, a discipline, and a way of being. It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness, compassion, and understanding that we would offer to a dear friend. It's about accepting ourselves, flaws and all, recognizing that our imperfections are not deficits, but rather integral parts of our unique and beautiful humanity. It's about honoring our needs, setting healthy boundaries, and prioritizing our well-being, not as acts of selfishness, but as essential components of a fulfilling and meaningful life. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider the image of a lighthouse standing firm against the raging sea. The lighthouse, representing our inner self, is illuminated by the beacon of self-love, guiding us through the turbulent waters of life's challenges. The waves, representing the external pressures and internal doubts that threaten to overwhelm us, crash against the lighthouse, but they cannot extinguish its light. For the foundation of the lighthouse is built on a bedrock of self-acceptance, self-compassion, and unwavering belief in our own inherent worth. This inner light is what allows us to navigate the storms of life with grace, resilience, and unwavering hope. Now, let's translate these reflections into tangible steps. We're not just aiming for a theoretical understanding of self-love, but for a practical application that infuses your daily life. Think of it as learning a new language. You wouldn't expect to become fluent overnight, would you? It requires consistent practice, patience, and a willingness to make mistakes along the way. Similarly, cultivating self-love is an ongoing process that requires conscious effort and a commitment to treating yourself with kindness and respect. One powerful tool is the practice of self-compassion. When you find yourself struggling with negative thoughts or emotions, try to respond with the same warmth and understanding you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Acknowledge your pain, remind yourself that you're not alone in your struggles, and offer yourself words of encouragement and support. This simple act can be incredibly transformative, shifting your inner dialogue from one of criticism to one of compassion. Another effective strategy is to challenge your negative beliefs. When you notice yourself thinking thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm unlovable," Ask yourself if there's any evidence to support these beliefs. Are they based on objective facts, or are they simply interpretations of past experiences? Often, we find that our negative beliefs are based on outdated information or distorted perceptions. By questioning these beliefs, we can begin to dismantle their power and create space for more positive and empowering narratives. Furthermore, it's crucial to prioritize self-care. This isn't about indulging in fleeting moments of pleasure, but about creating a sustainable lifestyle that supports your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. This might involve setting healthy boundaries, practicing mindfulness, engaging in activities that bring you joy, or seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or a therapist. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's essential for your overall health and happiness. Finally, it's important to celebrate your strengths and accomplishments. Take time to acknowledge your successes, no matter how small they may seem. Focus on what you're good at, and allow yourself to feel proud of your achievements. This doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or shortcomings, but rather recognizing that you are a complex and multifaceted individual with unique talents and abilities. By celebrating your strengths, you can cultivate a greater sense of self-worth and confidence. These aren't just tactics, but building blocks for a new internal architecture.